In this lesson, you'll learn to use single point autofocus, which is the mode of focus I use most of the time. Single point autofocus lets you choose the precise part of your composition to focus on. In this mode, you're in control of where you focus. Your camera is not, as it is when you're in multi-point autofocus mode. Single point focus is generally best for static subjects or subjects which are not moving much or very fast. I like to be able to choose where the point of focus will be. Having the camera make the choice when in multi-point mode often results in photos that are in focus in the wrong place. It takes a little more practice to get used to moving the focus point to the correct place in your frame, but as you practice, you'll be able to manipulate it quickly and accurately. You can become more precise and faster than the multi-point focus mode if you practice enough. Each camera has different ways to control where the single point is within the frame. On Nikon cameras, it's usually a rocker. Canon and Sony use a wheel. Many newer camera models have a touchscreen for autofocus. You can just tap the part of your composition you wish to have in focus. If you're not sure how to change the location of your single focus point, you can take a look at your camera manual, do a search on YouTube, or search Google. It takes more practice to get used to this mode, and it can be slower to use at first. But it is worth persevering because you can be more accurate and faster once you've used it for a while. Your camera is set to single point focus. Find a static and a moving subject to photograph. As you compose your photo, move the focus point so it's positioned over your main subject, the area you want to have in sharp focus. This will be more challenging when your subject is moving. Experiment as much as you like. Don't be concerned so much with making great photos, but concentrate on how the single point autofocus is functioning so you get a feeling for it. Remember to keep your elbows tucked into your sides and relax when you're taking photos. Focus is important because it's one thing you can't really correct later if it's wrong. It's small steps at the start. Learning how to manage these settings is essential. Key points from this lesson are: single point autofocus lets you be more precise with your focus. It's best for static and slow moving subjects. It takes practice to become fast using it. The aim of this lesson is to understand how multi-point autofocus selection works. Autofocus is a great tool and can help you get sharper photos. Knowing how to use it well and what the settings are will also help. Some cameras have variations on this mode, but I think it's important to learn the two standard ways autofocus functions. Focus is so important because you really cannot correct it later. If you take a photo and your subject is not in focus, no software currently available will make it sharp. Some minor softening of a photo can be sharpened, but an out-of-focus photo cannot be repaired. Choosing the best autofocused option for what you are photographing will help you capture your subject in sharp focus. Two essential options for where your camera will focus are multi-point and single point. Find the autofocused options part of your camera menu and set your focus to multi-point. It's the standard default on many cameras, so you may not need to change your settings. In this mode, your camera will select where to focus. Many cameras will display one or more highlighted rectangles in your viewfinder or monitor showing where your camera has chosen to focus. Each camera brand and model varies in how this function works. Here I'm giving you an overview. To learn more of how your camera's multi-point autofocus works, do a specific online search for your camera model or read about it in your camera manual. If there are people in your composition, your camera will detect eyes and skin tones and focus on the person closest to the camera. Many newer models also offer eye detection for autofocus. If there are no people in your composition, the camera will most likely focus on the closest and largest object to the camera. This mode can be useful when photographing a moving subject you are having trouble focusing on. Set your autofocus to multi-point and find a static subject and a moving subject. Make a series of photographs with the subject filling about 20% or more of your frame. Notice that as you halfway press the shutter release button, the camera will start to focus on your subject. You will see some indication, typically one or more illuminated rectangles in your viewfinder or on your monitor. This is where your camera is focusing. Pay attention to where the camera is choosing to set the focus points. Experiment as much as you like. My focus is set to multi-point, and I'm going to challenge it a little bit with this photo because I've got the tree that's a little bit in the foreground, and when she walks out, I'll just want to see if the focus will actually follow her walking. Don't be concerned so much about making great photos, but concentrate on how the multi-point autofocus is functioning so you get a feeling for it. Key points for this lesson are: focus is important because you can't fix it during editing. With multi-point autofocus, the camera chooses where it will focus. Multi-point autofocus can be helpful for photographing some moving subject.